Hey guys, welcome to day 18 for our 30-day yoga challenge. Today we're gonna work on those happy hips, getting more into the outer hips as well as the hip flexors, targeting the glutes, the IT bands. So if you're sitting all day long, whether it's for work or you're driving a lot, this is gonna be a great class for you. All right, friends, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Please grab your 2 blocks and a strap. Let's go ahead and get started in child's pose for a gentle hip opener. Okay, so you're gonna bring your big toes to touch, knees wide apart. Sit on your heels, hinge from your hips, and walk your arms over your head. Relax your forehead down and soften your shoulders down towards the floor. Then notice how your hips feels here right away. So everybody is different, our lifestyles are different, so if your hips are feeling extra tight today, maybe it's from, again, sitting all day long the day before. Maybe you're a cyclist or maybe even a runner. So just taking this moment to check in with the hips. Then let's go ahead and take a deep, long inhale through your nose. And a big audible exhale, let it go. So creating that oceanic noise. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Try to stay with this pace throughout your entire class, taking your inhales and exhales as slow as you can. Again, creating that oceanic noise, constricting the back of your throat. On your next inhale, rise up to tabletop. Stack your wrist underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Then find a neutral spine so that you're not overarching the lower back or you're not over rounding. Okay? Lengthen the tailbone towards the back of your mat. From here, you're going to shift your weight into your left knee. Point your right knee out towards the right. Flex your right foot. And then from there, you're going to make big circles with your right knee. So imagine trying to point your right knee up towards the ceiling. So you're making big circles. Good. Go ahead and switch directions. Try not to shift your weight too much into that left hand. So press down into your right hand as well. Good. From here, point your right knee out towards the right again. And then straighten out your right leg. Drop your right foot down. Make sure your right foot is in the same line as your left knee. And slide your right foot out as far as you can go. Walk your hands over to the right as well, so your hand stays underneath your shoulders. Once you've found your edge, feel free to drop to your forearms. Maybe for some, you could even drop to your forehead. I like to stack my hands on top of each other. And then maybe creating some movements here, warming up through the hips. You're going to feel the deep stretch into your inner thighs. The more you pull your chest forward towards the top of the mat, the more stretch you'll feel here. Good. Replant your palms. Slide your right foot back in, tabletop position. Feel free to shake it out for a moment. You should feel the blood flow back into that leg. All right, switching sides. Come back to tabletop, core is slightly engaged. Point your left knee out, flex your left foot, and make big circles here. So lubricating the hip joint, just warming up the joint and the muscles, getting some blood flow. Switch directions. All right, point your left knee out towards the left, straighten it out, and drop your left foot. I'm going to have to kind of slide towards the right for me. Okay, so try to walk that left foot away from the right knee. Again, keeping your hands and your elbows underneath your shoulders. Whatever you did on the other side, feel free to do the same. But again, since our right and our left side might feel different, you might be in a different position here. What I like you to really focus on here, though, is obviously your breath. I know I talk about the breath a lot. So if you've been following our 30-day challenge the past 17 days, you should start to notice how the breath helps you. Good. Replant your palms. Come back to tabletop position. All right, again, feel free to shake it out. Good. Flip your toes, walk your feet back, lift your hips. First, downward facing dog. Again, if you need to check your foundation, you can shift forward into high plank. I always like to. And then back to down dog. Feel free to pedal out your knees. Ooh, my calves are feeling extra tight today. I've been doing a lot of walking and running the past few days. So the hips are gonna be amazing. All right, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet behind your wrists, feet about hip width distance apart. Either grab opposite elbows or just feel free to interlace your fingers behind your neck. Rock side to side. Again, feel your calves stretch, your hamstrings. Really, really great for the lower back here. All right, we're gonna get into our first frog pose, Malasana. This one's a deep one for the hips, so feel free to grab a block to sit on. You're gonna plant your palms, point your toes out, bend your knees, and squat as low as you can. That's okay if your heels are lifted. You eventually want to keep them down, but if the heels are super lifted, just go ahead and keep your hands on the floor. Otherwise, hands to heart, sit them nice and tall. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. And then use your elbows to press against your inner thighs to point your knees out. Lengthen your tailbone down. One more breath, inhale. And exhale. Good. Going straight into bear pose. You can plant your palms first. Point your toes straight forward. So now your feet should be about outer hip width, distance apart, feet parallel to one another. You're gonna sink your hips so low that your hips are on the same line as your knees. Then reach your arms forward, creating a flat back. Gaze down, biceps frames your ears. Shift your weight into your heels, holding for 3, 2, 1. Come back to frog pose. Remember, you could bring your hands to the floor, okay? I'm gonna keep my hands to heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale, bear pose. Imagine you could place a glass of water on top of your back without letting it spill. Inhale. Exhale, frog. Good. You should feel the heat within your hips here. You might feel the burn as well. You got this. Let's do 1 more. Inhale. Sit up nice and tall. And exhale, bear pose. Good. Shift your weight into your heels. You got this. Last one. Inhale. And exhale, frog pose. Awesome. All right, plant your palms. Let's give those hips a break. Shake it out. And walk your feet together. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Arms above your head. Relax the shoulder blades down your back. Draw your front ribs in. Tuck your tailbone. Firm up through your quads. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, back bend. Open your elbows. Slightly push your hips forward. So getting that nice hip extension, right? Getting that nice stretch into the front side of your body. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Layers 1, 2, 3, or 4. You should know all layers by now. Listen to what your body needs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remember, you could always switch up your chaturangas throughout class. Let's take a deep breath in and a breath out. All right, friends, let's flow through breath to movement. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or jump forward, your choice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale, back bend. Open your elbows, lift your chest. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Keep your elbows in if you're taking the full Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or lightly jump. If you're jumping, land softly. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Feel free to drop to your child's pose. Otherwise, find stillness in your down dog. Last breath. Inhale, right leg high. Lead with your inner thigh. Keep your hips squared. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot between your hands. Keep your feet about hip width, setting up for your high lunge. Wait for your inhale. Rise all the way up. Stack your right knee over right ankle. To lengthen your tailbone down, you might have to bend your left knee a lot. Hug your inner thighs in. Lift up through your side waist. Then maybe sink a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale, open up warrior 2. Right heel either in line with your back arch or heel to heel alignment. Restack your right knee over right ankle and point your right knee out. So you're rolling your right inner thigh up and back. Keep your legs the same. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left arm down, right arm up and over. Straighten the right arm. Energize through your right fingertips. Lean your chest back. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Cartwheel your arms, plant your palms, high to mid plank. Otherwise, hold in your high plank. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Catch your breath here. Inhale, left leg high. Keep your hips square, straighten your left leg, flex your left foot. Exhale, low lunge. Try to use your core to step through. Inhale, high lunge. Good. Once you're all the way up, feel free to readjust your feet. If you need to shorten it or widen it, feel free to do so. Draw your left outer hip back, right hip forward. Then draw your front ribs in. So you're not just sticking out your chest. Keep that tailbone lengthened down. Last inhale. Exhale, open up warrior 2. Good. Keep your shoulders over hips, straight active arms. Point your right toe slightly in, then you're rolling your right inner thigh slightly in. So your right hip is slightly internally rotated as your left hip is externally rotated. Keep your legs the same. Inhale, reverse warrior. Shoulders stay square, but keep the left shoulder relaxed. Lift up a little higher, then lean back. Exhale, chaturanga, dandasana. We'll meet in downward facing dog. All right, friends, let's move through. Breath to movement. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, chaturanga, dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, chaturanga, dandasana. Remember, moving with your breath. If you notice you're holding your breath, just skip your chaturanga. Don't force it. Back to downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. All right, yogis, let's flow through one more time. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, or if you're holding in high plank, hold there, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, chaturanga, dandasana. All right, friends, step your right foot to the outside of the right hand. Drop your left knee. Either stay on top of your hands or feel free to drop to your forearms. Runner's lunge. Feel free to relax your head. Breathe into those hips. They should be pretty warmed up by now. Notice where you feel it most. Maybe your right outer hip. Maybe your left front hip flexors. I always like to kind of rock side to side here. This is actually one of my favorite poses. Come back onto your hands and walk your right foot towards your left wrist for a half pigeon pose. Then drop your right knee. Scoot your left leg back, point your left toes back. Good, make sure before you fold over your leg, that right knee is pointing out. Good, draw your right hip back to square the hips. Inhale, and exhale, forward fold. You can stay on top of your forearms or relax your forehead all the way down. Replant your palms, lift your chest. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. Feel free to take an extra chaturanga if you like. Step your left foot towards the outside of that left hand for your runner's lunge. Drop your right knee. Left knee over left ankle. Whatever you did on the other side, stay on your hands, use your blocks, come onto your forearms. You know your body. So whatever I'm doing here, if that doesn't feel good in your body, feel free to skip it. Feel free to modify, which is why the blocks and straps always comes in handy. Good. Come back onto your hands and let's take half pigeon pose. Left foot towards right wrist. Drop your left knee out towards the left. Scoot your hips back. Inhale to prepare and exhale, forward fold. I like to kind of close my eyes here. Relax. Come back onto your hands. And let's meet back in downward facing dog. Good. All right, friends. Go ahead and drop to your knees. And let's lower down onto our backs. So you'll be here for the remainder of your practice. You're going to keep your feet about hip width distance apart. Cross your right ankle on top of left thigh. Either keep your left foot grounded or you could pick it up and interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Really important, keep your right foot flexed. Then actively press your right knee away from your chest. 3 more breaths here. Good, you're gonna keep your right ankle on top of left thigh. Plant your left foot. Scoot your hips to the right. And then cross your right knee on top of left knee for a single wrap or double wrap, eagle legs. And drop your legs to the left. Either cactus or tee out your arms. And gaze past your right shoulder. So again, closing our practice with a twist. That's my favorite way to end my practice. So I kind of just like to let go. Try not to force the twist. Good. Come back to center. Neutralize your spine. Plant your feet hip width. Cross your left ankle on top of right. And then again, maybe interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Last breath here. Plant your right foot if it's not there already. Scoot your hips to the left. Cross your left knee over right knee, single or double wrap, and drop your knees to the right. 5 breaths. Come back to center. Drop your feet. Scoot your hips back to center. Then stomp your feet up towards the ceiling. Grab for the outside of your feet. And then press your knees out towards the outside of your chest. Keep your lower back. Press your tailbone down. Shoulders are all open. Then bring the soles of your feet to touch. Point your knees out. Maybe press your feet a little closer towards your stomach. All right, friends. So let's get into your Shavasana. Stay there for as long as you need. I'll let you stay there. Thank you for joining me for our Happy Hips flow. I'll see you guys next time. Namaste.